Alright, so I really don't understand why everybody votes Legacy Arena all the time, especially over like Standoff or something, but here's the setup for this. Now, like the title will say, this is really the only setup you should use on the AK. I hate to say that because I love this weapon, you know. I used to play Call of Duty 4 in my childhood. It's kind of a dead game now, so can't really play it online, but AK was my favorite weapon in that game, and yeah. But this is pretty much how the setup has to go if you want to use this thing. Problem with it, and if you didn't watch my other video, just look at the damage on this. 35, 36, 45. Here's a PP2K, the MP40, you know, just look at the damages over them. It's just, like, it's not good. Like, usually an AK is meant to be what, right? Really high damage, typically really high recoil and a slow rate of fire, you know? And this game just does the exact opposite of that. It's actually one of the worst weapons, I think, in the game, unless you use it like this. I've used this thing for, I almost have Damascus Gold now. I've used this thing for a while now, over the last few days, and I'll tell you, when I tried an AR kind of build on it, I'll tell you, man, I was really suffering and struggling. It's just not good. You have to make it pretty much like a 74U. And go the route that I did with this setup. Or you're just gonna get owned every time. Like, it's just how it is. Like, it's just no other way around that, unfortunately. Just take it from me, like I said, I really tried to make it work, and it just doesn't. You basically just have to turn it into an SMG. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't mind this setup at all, to be honest. I think it's actually kind of good. But I would still much rather have the traditional AK, which is, like I said at the start, you know, high damage, sacrificing recoil, and fire rate. But it is what it is, man. You know, this setup works good with it. So, I guess that's all that matters, right? But it's a shame that they made the AK so bad in this game. But yeah, before I was getting only like, I was just barely going positive KD with the AR builds and the long range setups. And that's with trying a little bit. You know, I never sweat my A off, but I still almost always get at least like a 2 KD, regardless of what weapons that I use. But I'll share it too as well really quick. So the Invader stock, increased recoil, but also faster mobility. Now you can swap it out to lightweight if you prefer 96 mobility with this setup, but it takes this to 1.7, and I think 1.7 to 1.36 is a better option than 4 mobility. That's my opinion though. If you prefer to have the mobility, then, you know, go on lightweight. But I don't really care that much to lose that much on my, I guess we'll say DPS, right? Because that's really what that is. And then with this laser, it also increases ADS speed. But with this laser that I have on it, with this exact setup, the hip fire is very accurate actually. So it's really helped me out with my hip fire challenges. Like, look, that's not bad at all right there. So this setup I think is literally the best that you can have. I'm sure there's like 1 or 2 attachments you could swap out and, you know, improve to some arguable extent, but for example, I forget what it is, but there's another one that you can use that'll give you an extra 30 fire rate. So you could actually get 720 rate of fire instead of 690. But, you know, I think that this is better. Basically what I did for my setup, if you're just wondering what all those do, is I tried to have, you know, not tank your mobility into the ground, but also be able to have it versatile in all scenarios. So you have the hip fire, you have the movement speed, you have the fire rate, which like I said, I'm not a fan of, because it's just not true to the AK. But the most important one is you need that recoil control, because they did give this recoil in this game, pretty decent as well. But they just tanked the damage for some reason, so they gave it decent recoil, but they just kept the damage low, and that's where they screwed up. If I was not recording right now, I would be going for, I would just be sliding all over the place, going for hip fires. But, you know, and we're at a 3 KD right now, by the way, if you're wondering. I don't usually check mid-video, but I had to, just for the, because I was just curious, honestly. Doesn't really seem like I'm doing super sick, but I know I'm not doing bad either. We'll probably die here going back to the cross, no? Awesome. But yeah, we almost have Damascus Gold and Mastery Gold. So my next video that I make will probably just be unlocking the Mastery Gold. Or sorry, either Damascus Gold or Mastery. I'll probably get the, oh, dude, we hit the hip fires? I accidentally stopped ADSing there, and I hit the hip fires at that distance. I think that just kind of tells you how sick the setup is, even with hipfire. But yeah. Next video will either be unlocking Mastery Gold or Damascus Gold for this. I'm not really sure which I'll actually get first. I'm pretty confident though that it's, because I'm not doing the hipfire challenges or the crouching, but I could potentially unlock them at the exact same time. I'm about 150 away for Mastery Gold, and I'm like 100 something for my crouches and 8 hip fires. I might even need headshots as well, I'm not totally sure. But I don't think maybe like 20 headshots, I'm not totally sure. Oh, nice. So yeah, we'll definitely get that. I'll probably get it today. I don't really see how I wouldn't unlock those today, unless the server's shut down or something. Man, I gotta love the Riot Shield, am I right? So yeah, we'll come back probably later. Well, it'll get uploaded whenever it gets uploaded, but I'll finish out the Damascus Gold and the regular and the Damascus Gold. And then I'm not totally sure what I'll do after that, but I'll probably finish out my G18, because I really want to finish that, so I really don't like the G18. Maybe I'll even take the carbine kit off of it or something, and maybe I'll just try a different G18 setup altogether. Because it's just really weak in my opinion, and honestly I think it's actually potentially better without the carbine kit, although I do like the carbine iron sights significantly better. But I don't know, we'll mess around with the G18 a little bit. And because I'm really close, I think I only need crouching eliminations on my G18, then I'm gonna have Damascus Gold. Then I don't have to ever use that gun ever again. So that'll be nice. I want to try and get, like, I don't really care much for it, I just use the weapons I like. Like, for example, this thing, I probably wouldn't be using it now if I wasn't already so close to gold. But now that I actually have this setup, I'll be honest, I actually like using this. So I might actually use it even after I get Damascus Gold. Just because, like I said, I just really like this weapon in general. So I'm really not sure, but we'll see. I guess. I just play and I just use whatever I have fun with, so. But like I said, before I had this setup and I had the, just like the AR type build that's meant for like long range and stuff, it was so bad. I mean, it was terrible at close range. I never, like, even at long range, I could hit him 10, 15 times, it felt like, and I'd just die in 2 hits. Like, it was just not fun to use at all. We get a quad feed? Where's it at? Where's it at? Unlucky. Could have got a quad feed on vid with this setup. Then I would have had an AK quad, which would have been sick, but can't win them all, you know? I think I'll have to stop the VOD due to the time here shortly. Let me check. Yeah. So we're at a 5.75, which is actually nuts. If that doesn't tell you that this setup is good enough, like, I don't know what will. But yeah, that's the 8K.